The rain hammered against the windows of our small apartment in Seattle, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. I am Quentin, 43, and until a week ago I thought I had it all: a loving wife, a comfortable life as a freelance graphic designer, and a future stretching out before me like a sunlit highway. Now, the highway had crumbled into a ravine of betrayal and lies. It started subtly. Lenore, my wife of 15 years, a vibrant and dedicated kindergarten teacher, had been working late more often. "Just prepping for the fall curriculum, honey," she'd say, kissing me lightly on the cheek before rushing out the door. I didn't think much of it. Lenore was always conscientious, always putting her kids first. It was one of the many things I loved about her. But then came the phone calls. Late at night, whispered conversations shed abruptly end when I entered the room. "Wrong number," she'd mumble, her face flushed before turning away. I started to feel uneasy, a nagging sense that something was amiss. The final straw was the email. I rarely touched Lenore's laptop, respecting her privacy. But one evening, she'd left it open on the kitchen table. An email notification popped up from an address I didn't recognize: jake.miller78@email.com. Curiosity, or perhaps a premonition, compelled me to click on it. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow night, my love," the email read. "Dinner at the Olive Branch, 8 p.m. I've been thinking about you all day." The blood drained from my face. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My Lenore having an affair, it was impossible. She was the most honest, loyal person I knew, or so I thought. I spent the next few days and a days replaying every moment, every conversation, searching for clues I'd missed. Sleep evaded me. Food tasted like ash. I was a ghost in my own home. I knew I had to confront her, but I needed proof, something concrete to shatter her inevitable denials. The following evening, I told Lenore I had a late project to finish and wouldn't be home for dinner. I watched her carefully as I spoke. She seemed relieved, almost eager. As soon as she left, I got into my car and drove to the Olive Branch, a trendy Italian restaurant downtown. I parked across the street, hidden in the shadows, and waited. At 7:55 p.m., a figure emerged from a taxi. It was Lenore, dressed in a stunning red dress I'd never seen before. She looked radiant, happy. The sight of her, so beautiful, so carefree, twisted the knife in my heart. Then he arrived. A tall, handsome man with a confident swagger. He greeted Lenore with a warm embrace, a lingering kiss. It was Jake. They went inside, laughing and holding hands. I sat there, paralyzed, watching my life crumble before my eyes. The rain intensified, blurring the scene as if the world itself was weeping for me. I couldn't bring myself to confront them then and there. I needed to gather my thoughts to process the enormity of the betrayal. I drove home, numb, the image of Lenore and Jake seared into my brain. The next morning, I waited for Lenore to wake up. When she came into the kitchen, her eyes bright, her smile wide, I couldn't bear it. "Who's Jake?" I asked, my voice flat, her face paled. "Jake. I don't know anyone named Jake," she stammered, avoiding my gaze. "Don't lie to me, Lenore," I said, my voice rising. "I saw you last night at the Olive Branch with Jake." She burst into tears. "Quentin, it's not what you think," she sobbed. "Then what is it, Lenore?" I demanded. "Tell me the truth," and she did. The truth poured out of her like a torrent, a confession of months of lies and deceit. Jake, it turned out, was a parent at her school, a wealthy businessman with a charming smile and a predatory nature. He pursued her relentlessly, showering her with attention, flattering her ego. Eventually, she'd succumbed. "It was a mistake, Quentin," she pleaded. "A terrible mistake. I love you. I want to make it right," but the words rang hollow. The trust was broken, shattered beyond repair. How could I ever look at her again without seeing the image of her in Jake's arms? "I need you to leave," I said, my voice trembling. "I need you to leave now." She begged, she cried, she promised to do anything to win me back. But I was resolute. I couldn't forgive her. I wouldn't forgive her. She packed a bag and left, the sound of the door slamming echoing through the empty apartment. The following weeks were a blur of pain and anger. I barely ate, barely slept. I lost weight. My work suffered. I was a shell of my former self. My friends, Elwin and Jasper, rallied around me, offering support and advice. "You deserve better, Quentin," Elwin said. "Don't let her destroy you." Jasper, ever the pragmatist, suggested I consult a lawyer. "Protect yourself, Quentin," he advised. "She could try to take you for everything you've got." I followed his advice and contacted a lawyer named Meredith, a sharp, no-nonsense woman who'd seen it all before. She helped me navigate the legal complexities of the divorce, ensuring I was protected financially. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, I learned more about Jake. He was a serial philanderer, a man who preyed on vulnerable women. He left a trail of broken hearts and shattered lives in his wake. I felt a surge of anger not just at Lenore but at Jake. He was the catalyst, the snake in the garden, the one who tempted her and destroyed my life. I decided I couldn't let him get away with it. I started digging, using my skills as a graphic designer to research his company, his business dealings. I discovered a pattern of shady practices, of fraudulent activities. He was a fraud, a con man. I compiled my findings and sent them anonymously to the authorities. Within weeks, Jake's company was under investigation. His reputation was ruined. His empire crumbled. I didn't feel any satisfaction, no sense of triumph, just a hollow emptiness. My revenge had been cold and calculated, but it hadn't brought me any closer to healing. As the dust settled, I started to rebuild my life. I focused on my work, pouring my energy into my designs. I spent time with my friends, rediscovering the joys of companionship. One evening, Elwin invited me to a gallery opening. I hesitated at first, reluctant to face the world, but Elwin insisted. "You need to get out there, Quentin," he said. "You can't hide forever." I went reluctantly. The gallery was crowded, filled with art enthusiasts and pretentious socialites. I felt out of place, uncomfortable. Then I saw her. A woman standing alone, admiring a painting. She had long, dark hair, intelligent eyes, and a quiet grace about her. Elwin introduced us. Her name was Harlow. She was an art curator, passionate about her work and incredibly insightful. We talked for hours that night about art, about life, about everything and nothing. I found myself drawn to her warmth, her intelligence, her genuine kindness. Over the next few months, Harlow and I grew closer. She was a good listener, a compassionate friend, a woman who understood the pain I'd been through. She didn't try to fix me, didn't offer empty platitudes. She simply listened, offering a shoulder to cry on, a hand to hold. Slowly, tentatively, I began to heal. The scars of betrayal would always be there, but they started to fade, to become less painful. One evening, as we sat on my balcony, watching the sunset over the Seattle skyline, Harlow turned to me. "Quentin," she said, her voice soft, "I care about you. A lot." I looked into her eyes and saw a depth of love and understanding I'd never seen before. "I care about you too, Harlow," I said, my voice filled with emotion. We kissed, a gentle, tender kiss that spoke of hope and healing. I knew that Lenore would always be a part of my past, a painful reminder of what I'd lost. But I also knew that I deserved to be happy, that I deserved to find love again. And with Harlow, I knew that I could. Life is full of surprises, both good and bad. Betrayal can shatter your world, leaving you broken and lost, but it doesn't have to define you. You can pick up the pieces, rebuild your life, and find love again. It takes time, it takes courage, but it's possible. Lenore eventually remarried someone I didn't know. I heard through mutual friends that she was happy, that she had found peace. I was glad for her. I didn't hate her anymore. I had forgiven her, not for her sake, but for my own. And as I looked at Harlow, her eyes filled with love, I knew that I had finally found my way back to the sunlit highway, a highway paved with hope and new beginnings.